Hi guys, how goes life? I hope all is well and jolly and all that jazz. Before we start, can I just say I am in so much pain? Like I told you guys in the last post, I had this procedure done and it was like super painful and that pain hadn't really subsided and now I'm having menstrual pain and like I'm just over it. But that's not what we're talking about here. Today we are talking about text messages. Yay! So prior to what I'm going to tell you, I was talking to my sister today about thinking before you speak. You are, we are, I am free to say and feel however I want. I am free to express myself in any and every way that I choose to express myself. And I do admit, and I will admit, that sometimes I happen to, put my foot in my mouth before I say things or before I do things or react to such things, right? But that's just the way I am. I own up to my bullshit. But today is not one of those days. Today is the day that I thought about what I wanted to say and I phrased it in the best way possible, and it did not turn out. It wasn't supposed to turn. Actually, it wasn't supposed to turn out any way in particular. It just went the way that it went. So I get a text. I say all of this to say I get a text message from this number that I don't know, and a person's like, "Hey, what's up?" and they use my nickname. Now, I don't know this number. And you guys know from the previous blogs, whenever a random number texts me, it's some random guy from my past trying to do whatever. So when the person texts me, immediately, who's this? I'm trying to figure out who will call me by my nickname. Like anybody who was meant to text me in a weird way has texted me or called me or reached out to me. So there's no other person that this could be, right? Like I don't know who this person is. So the person writes back after a bit and they tell me who they are. I was like, oh, okay, hey, how are you? We exchange the standard pleasantries. How are you? How are you? How are you doing with this whole pandemic? We exchange that with almost every question he asked, though, because it wasn't him. With almost every question he asked, there was an LOL at the end, and I didn't really get it, so I already felt like this was a little weird. And it was also a little weird because I haven't spoken to this person in well over a year, like probably longer, honestly. Like we haven't communicated. Like there's been no call, no text, no likes on social media, nothing, no communication. So the person texts me, a response to whatever I asked. So I in turn asked, is this one of those down the line welfare checks? And by that I meant, did you just happen to be scrolling through your phone and my name popped up and oh, let me check on her? And if that's what it was, why did you feel the need to check on me now? So so I asked that and they were like, what do you mean? I was like, what is the intent? This is exactly what I said. What is the intent behind this text? Because I've been receiving a lot of hey big head text, and if that's what this is, I'd rather nip it in the bud before we get to a weird place. I don't feel like there was anything wrong with that, right? But by the tone of this person's text message, maybe he felt like it was something wrong with what I said. Because in turn, he was like, let me get there first before you start jumping to conclusions. And in this day and age with this a pandemic and people are dying, I just wanted to check on an old friend who I haven't spoken to in a while. But anyway, be safe. Okay. Like I said, there have been times, and I will admit to when I have had times where I put my foot in my mouth and I thought before I said something. But in this case, I thought about what I wanted to ask. So I replied. I didn't jump to any. Asking a question is not jumping to conclusions. It is asking a question for clarity. But thank you for checking in and be well. Now, if this was merely a let me check on my old friend text, then you wouldn't have taken that tone and given me, people are dying and I just wanted to, you wouldn't have given me that. You would not have given me that. You would have just said, oh no, that's not what this is. I just genuinely wanted to check on you, right? Right. So when you're coming at me, and that's the way that I'm taking it, is that you're coming at me. When you're coming at me with this, let me get there first, and you're jumping to conclusions, that means to me I called you on your bullshit, and I don't know what you want me to do with that. But my thing is, I'm not that friend. This is a very, very scary time. This is a very scary time. People are dropping like dimes. You guys know what I've been dealing with my dad and my uncle. Like, people close to me have been affected in the worst ways by everything that's going on. And I mean everything that's going on. It's not just the pandemic. It's not just the rallies. It's not just this. It's literally everything, and it just keeps getting thrown at you so hard and so fast, and you really just feel like you can't combat it, and like you just don't know what to do. And it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And I'm a person, if I'm one of those people that if you're not close to me like that, I don't share what's going on with you. And I don't have to share what's going on with everybody. That's just me. That's just the person I am. And with that said, let me talk about the type of friend that I am. I am not that friend that you need to contact every day. I am not that friend that you can call on to go to parties or to come and just sit with you and do nothing. I'm not that friend. For a lot of people that I've grown up with, I'm the friend that always answers their phone. If you ever need somebody to talk to or listen to or hear you, I'm that friend. I'm that girl. I'm the girl who you don't have to speak to for several years, but when you call me, I got you. That's the person that I am. I'm not this, let me check on you right now because the world might be ending and I don't know what to do. I'm not that friend. And I'm sorry that I'm not as open. Fuck that. I'm not as open to people trying to enter my space, especially now, especially that I've gotten to the place that I've needed to be at for so long. When you come at me with the hey big head quotes or text or the tone where I call you out on something and you have this tone with me, that makes me uncomfortable. I'm at the point where we can state our intentions. Tell me what it is that you want. If you just want to check on me, if you just want to have a general conversation, say that up front. If you're trying to see where I'm at because you're trying to bang or you're trying to sext or you're trying to do whatever, then say that. I don't want to do this egging on thing. I want you to be straight with me. I want you to be blunt with me. That's where I'm at. If we get to a point where we can be mushy, and I'm not mushy with everybody, then you've penetrated these walls. Like, you've penetrated this exterior that I have up, and be happy about that. But if we haven't gotten there, if I haven't spoken to you in well over a year, you have no right to have a tone with me. That's just what it is. Like I said, I got a lot of shit going on. My cramps are crazy. My fertility issues are crazy. My family situation with my dad being sick and my uncle being sick is crazy. This pandemic is crazy. The riots are crazy. I don't have any more room for other people's crazy. If you can't come at me direct and tell me what it is that you want, leave me alone. Like, I grew up with a lot of people, I recall good memories, I recall bad memories. Sometimes you just sometimes you just need to let memories be memories. I'm that friend that makes sure everyone's good through social media. If you post a picture today, I still know that you're breathing. That's all. I don't wonder about much. The people who I wonder about, the people who I worry about, the people who I care about, they know. Because I tell them. In some way, shape, or form, they know. I don't have it in me to deal with anybody's extracurriculars or extra crazy. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you want. Tell me your intent, and let's go from there. Let's nip that in the bud. Like, the other day, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about having we're gonna have a drinking contest because I feel like I can outdrink him. And he told me what the prize was if I won. And I told him straight up, yeah, it's gonna take more than that to try to get to where you want. But he told me straight up what it is that he wanted, and I respect him for that. Don't do this beating around the bush thing with me. I have nothing left. Like, and what little I am still holding on to, that shit is reserved for that person, that special person. Don't try to get me to give you more than I can, because I can't. I just can't. If that said, guys, happy Thursday? Is today Thursday? It might be. Have a good one. I'm sorry this is long. Have a good one.